What's happening, guys? Today we are back with week 12 for my client Vivyen's reverse diet series. Okay, so if you remember last week, Vivyen had some problems with some overeating. Had a couple of days of pretty high calories, actually pretty dang close to double the calories. And while that can be something that can really destroy a lot of people, thankfully she has gotten into a better spot with things and she was able to move forward. And that's just really one of the biggest lessons that I can possibly teach anyone, is when we make some mistakes, where we had some bad days, the only thing you can do is try to take some lessons from it, see how you can improve, but then just move forward and put the rest behind you. That is so important. I'm telling you, I said it last week, I'm going to say it again this week. Beating yourself up about making mistakes and overeating is going to do way more damage than any amount of overeating you possibly could have done will ever do. And I believe that 100%. I stand behind that completely. It's just when we beat ourselves up and we feel like we're a failure and we talk about what's wrong with me, why am I so weak, and we just like really get down on ourselves, it just makes the process and the overeating just continue on. Like typically you don't beat yourself up and then go, okay, I got a good last year and I'm ready to go again. No, like you just like feel worse and feel guilty, and you just end up getting in this position where it just carries on over and over and over again, and you just can't get out of it because you keep with all the negative self-talk. So we got to squash that. So thankfully she did that. She did get back on track, and things actually went really well this week. Now, if you remember last week, one of the things I mentioned was I thought that metabolically she was probably in a position where we could actually still increase calories despite going way over last week. So like 400 calories over the average for the week with those two big days. But I decided it was more important to just get back on track now, and just I thought the bigger win would be not worrying about doing what's most optimal and just focusing on putting the past behind and just moving forward. So we did that, and I would say I was probably pretty right. The scale dropped big time this week, so she lost a pound on average from last week, and that even goes back to the week prior to that as well, before weight kind of spiked on her from the overeating. So weight continued to come down, so obviously she's still in a really good spot metabolically, so we're going to go ahead and make some increases this week. What I'm going to do is I'm going to split it apart a lot more than I usually do, and I'm going to give her 5 grams of protein, just because I really like people to be at 1 gram per pound. So we're 5 grams away, let's just do it. Plus, protein is practically free calories. Now, I mean, no, it's not actually free calories, but it's pretty dang close. It's really hard to store protein as fat, and I just find that like you can increase protein really easily, and I just like to keep up with that 1 gram per pound. So give her that little bump, then 5 grams of carbs as well, plus 1 gram of fat. So it's a 49 calorie bump overall, and she's just really starting to eat a lot of calories now. That puts her at 2,174 calories on average for the week. And, with her body weight, that's over 17 times body weight. She's eating a ton of food. The relationship with food is improving, which is something I'm going to touch on here in a second. And just good to see her back on track and not letting some previous mishaps keep her down. So regarding the whole relationship with food and everything, there was kind of a nice, I don't know if I would call it a breakthrough, but a nice moment for Vivyen this week. She said that she had some unplanned Oreos in her car, and typically in the past, something like that would have triggered like kind of binging tendencies or behaviors, and she would have gotten really stressed out, kind of really anxious about it. That didn't happen this time. She just had the unplanned Oreos, ate up, just accounted for it, and moved on. So that's beautiful. That's really big time progress. So it's nice that she is in a better spot mentally. So we've had these ups and downs. We've had some weeks where it's gone really well. We've had some weeks where it's been a little bit tougher, but she just kind of keeps rebounding and getting back on track. And that really just goes to show, like, we can't get so caught up on the bad days. It's not going to make or break you. It's not going to wreck you. And this is proof right here. Her calories are already high. She's already in a really good place with her calories, and she overate significantly 2 days in a row last week. And not only did she not gain a whole crap load of weight because of it, she actually just got back on track and even lost weight in a reverse. These individual days, or even 2 days in a row of overeating, it's not going to make you gain 10 pounds of fat, and it's just not going to happen. The 10 pounds comes from beating yourself up and just kind of, saying screw it for a long time because you don't care anymore because you screwed up. That's what creates the problem. I know I'm repeating myself a little bit, but I just want to really nail home how important it is to just move forward and not beat yourself up over any kind of mistakes or overeating that you may have had. And this is really good proof for that. This week is also a really good example of why I like to do the averages for weight. You know, she actually talked about it in the check-in that she had one day that was abnormally low, and that happened because she slept extra that day and got a little bit more recovery, and she slept later, weighed in later than usual, so more food had digested, more thermogenesis has happened. So it was just a perfect storm to weigh a little bit less. And then she had a really abnormally high weigh-in right after that, the very next day, because she had a bunch of extra sodium in a later meal that day. Caused some water retention, showed up on the scale the next day. But then if you look back again, dropped right back down the next day. Again, this is why we can't get so caught up in weight fluctuations on a daily basis. There's so many reasons why it jumps up and down, up to a couple pounds as you're seeing here. And just because you spike one day for whatever reason doesn't mean that you gained a bunch of fat. Just like if you saw a big drop in one day, that doesn't necessarily mean you've lost a bunch of fat either. Let's just calm down for a second. Let's look at the big picture, take the averages, and just get rid of the fluctuations and not stress about them so much. Daily weight, there's too many reasons. You know, sodium, stress, sleep, hormones, training inflammation, how much food is still digesting in your system, how much fluids you drink. There's so many reasons, like just an infinite amount of reasons as to why your weight fluctuates, and very little of it has to do with fat. So we can't get so caught up when weight jumps up or down on a singular day. It means absolutely nothing. That's why we gotta look big picture, take the averages, take some of the stress out of weighing in. It can be really beneficial. So anyway, overall things are going really great again. You know, she's up over 466 calories from when we started. She's down a little over 2 pounds since we started. The relationship with the food has improved a lot. Binge eating is much less than it had been, and she's starting to recognize some triggers, and she's moving forward. So the process is just really going very well, and I'm very proud of her, and I'm excited to see what happens as we move forward here. I mean, man, she's really pushing these calories now, and with her still losing while we push up calories, man, she might even make the 300 carb club. Like, that would be pretty insane, but we'll just have to see how things go. We won't push it if it's not there, but hey, if it is, that'd be pretty awesome. So anyway, hopefully this video helped. If you have any questions, please let me know, and I will talk to you next time.
I'm addicted to the love that you're giving. Every minute, every day I've been craving.